Hello everyone, welcome to our Let's Play series of Disco Elysium. This is Colonel RPG as usual, and I'm very happy that you chose to join me today, picking up where we left off, talking to Joyce about our mission.
You're back. Good.
She takes a sip from her silvery thermal cup.
What can I help you with?
I, spoke with the lorryman at the roundabout.
Yes, my eyes on the harbour have sent word to that effect. What have you discovered?
We have discovered enough to conclude for now.
Yes. And will you start an official investigation?
If there is an investigation, it will be part of an ongoing operation, subject to confidentiality. I am sure you understand.
Of course, detectives.
She says, her tone more cautious suddenly.
In any case, you've held up your end of our arrangement. I trust you with the rest. Now it's my turn. I wouldn't normally break protocol like this, but the situation demands it. If you don't solve this murder, I'm afraid we may have a bloodbath on our hands.
The words bloodbath sound cold in her mouth. They taste of iron and strawberries.
Tell me again, how are the lynching and the strike connected?
I have an indirect role to play, I'm sad to say. My employer experienced a momentary lapse of faith in me. In that moment, they elected to deploy a private military contractor as an insurance measure. They called it my security detail.
Do you need a security detail?
Absolutely not. These mercenaries are muscle, pure and simple. They are meant to intimidate the Union into surrendering.
Who are they, exactly?
Crenell, an Oranese military company. As far as I know, 3 arrived in Martinez. They report to me sporadically, but they do not answer to me. To be frank, our relationship is deteriorating. They wear ceramic armor, have semi-automatic weapons, and years of combat experience. They also have trauma and stressor disorder, and no idea how to conduct themselves in an urban civilian environment.
So, what happened?
The story is, one of them, the Colonel, I don't know his real name, sexually assaulted a local woman while he was drunk and separated from his unit. This allowed some of the more militant Union members to subdue him. He was taken out behind the whirling in rags and lynched last Sunday night.
What then?
Nothing. Mr. Clare refuses to let me into the harbour. I have not been able to discuss this matter with anyone there. The remaining 2 Crenell contractors carry out their orders, for now.
For now?
It's a smokescreen. In secret, they are conducting an independent military tribunal into the lynching. Once this investigation is concluded, executions will follow.
What is the nature of this so-called investigation?
Whether to execute one, some, or all of the Union militants.
It'll be all of them. The decision is already made.
Yep, it's the bloodbath. I have to say, this is not disco.
It is very far from disco.
A wave crashes against the side of her boat.
My only hope is that you provide a single, concrete suspect before the mercenaries indiscriminately pick theirs. Simply put,
She grabs hold of the mainsail.
if you don't pin this on someone good and do it fast, they will identify and execute everyone present at the lynching. This in turn will force the Union to respond.
The Debardeurs have over 2,000 men. It will be 1,000 to 1.
Have you ever seen a Hornet invade a beehive, Lieutenant?
She leans back.
It's not pretty. These men work in tandem using semi- and fully automatic firearms. Their armor is virtually impenetrable to muzzle-loaded weapons, even yours. Most Union workers don't have guns at all.
The muzzle loaders need to be reloaded after every 1 or 2 shots. The automatics every 1 or 2 minutes.
She's silent for a moment, and then concludes.
As I said, a bloodbath.
I can't see it happen. Too many things would have to go wrong first.
Too many things have already gone wrong.
She looks to you, eyes damp from the wind.
Nameless, badgeless detective of the citizens' militia. All we can do is keep that which is not from following suit. One single concrete suspect delivered into civil court, and I may be able to defuse this situation.
What was that about a bloodbath?
Yes. I'm afraid this strike may descend into a small-scale civil war. with possible consequences for all of Rivershoal West.
Since you are sharing, ma'am, this is also the RCM's worst-case scenario.
Then we're on the same page, as grim as it may be.
Wow. What can you tell me about Krenel?
Not much. Their public resume is relatively good, as far as private military contractors go. I believe they were once called Downwell. They boast a long list of clients: Saint-Baptiste, Welchman Lorenz, Eintracht. A warning sign, however. The operations concerned all take place in third or fourth world countries. Guarding facilities, escort missions and such.
Meaning they're used to operating in war zones.
Yes, all the good conflict corridors, Supramundi, Yesut, the Seminese Islands, countries that don't have a good record reporting atrocious military conduct on their soil.
Okay, anything else you got on them?
Sadly, no. Before this happened, I had little interest in them. Now that I do, I don't have the resources.
She thinks.
If you still have access to the ICP's database, you could run a better background check than I ever could. It may take some time, though.
She thinks.
Do you know a lot about the inner workings of the RCM and the ICP, ma'am?
In my line of work, it pays to do your research. I was prepared to deal with the RCM. I did not think I'd be dealing with a group like Crenel.
Could you contact the company? Tell them to call them off?
I have. And they will. However, these orders take time to reach what is basically a rogue unit out in the field here. Until they do, it's all on us.
You said the deceased assaulted a woman.
Or he didn't.
She tilts her head.
This is information passed on to me from some teenagers loitering around the canal. I cannot testify by it.
What did these teenagers by the canal say?
That the man was killed because he assaulted a local woman. I've asked around a bit. This seems to be the accepted story around Martinez.
The lieutenant consults his notebook, his eyebrows knitted in concentration.
Odd. We haven't heard any reports about an assault in connection with the lynching. Where did it take place? And when?
Last Sunday night, at the Whirling in Rags, the hostel by the gates. Supposedly, the colonel was drunk, maybe on narcotics too. Either way, he's alleged to have sexually assaulted a woman. Sometime later, a group of dock workers got their hands on him.
And who was this woman?
That's a good question, officer. I don't have the slightest idea. As I said, it's a rumor about a rumor. In any case, it's what the colonel's remaining colleagues believe.
Yeah, and hopefully now I'll be able to convince Kim that there is indeed a sexy, mysterious... Well, sexy here being very, very much not sexy at all, but sexy is in related to sex. In this case, rape. It's not sexy. Maybe it's a good thing I didn't convince Kim about that. This colonel, the one who was hanged, did you know him?
If you mean did I see him alive? Yes, but I did not know him.
His name was...
Lely. His service name, a nom de guerre, most likely. He wouldn't divulge his full name. Only one of them did. A bad sign if there ever was one.
Nom de guerre, I believe. Oh, it's nom? Do you say nom in French? Is it one of those words that is an exception? Either way, that means a war name. That's what that is. Tell me about the others first.
One is a man. Corty, they call him. A nickname as well. The other a woman. Phyllis DePaul. Corty is the gunner, I believe. DePaul is a radio operator.
The lieutenant cuts in.
What would you say was his eye color? The deceased's.
She closes her eyes, trying to picture the man's face, then shakes her head.
I can't remember.
There's a pang of regret to her voice.
That's all right, man. Anything else? Nationality? What would you say was his age?
He was 40. Or 50. It's hard to say which. He had a combat injury on his lower jaw. It made it difficult to estimate his age, or gauge his facial expressions.
What else? Nationality? Accent?
He was, Occidental, I think. Light brown hair, a mixed accent. Oranese. Or Messinian, maybe. His injury gave him an accent all his own. In a way, it was humanizing. He had to learn to speak through it. Through the injury.
She nods.
That's all I know, I guess. I only met him once.
Where are the remaining 2 mercs now?
They've gone to ground, as it were. I don't recommend seeking them out.
She puts her foot on the guard wire for balance.
For one, they're almost certainly armed to the teeth. They don't have the same respect for the Revachol citizens' militia as I do. To put it bluntly, they think you're vigilantes. Ghetto savages. It will not be a fruitful meeting.
We still need to know where they are.
You're likely to run into them eventually. When that happens, I'll be in a better position to mediate if I don't appear involved.
Where are these mercenaries? I'm going to ask myself. I'm going to try to figure it out. And we have +1 clothes didn't fit right, +1 scab leader built like brick, +1 didn't pass background check, or +2 rather, but also we have a -1 to our glasses. That might make the difference, hopefully it doesn't.
One is obviously the scab leader at the harbour gates. The one chanting the idiotic slogans. He's barely maintaining his disguise.
That is indeed the case, yes. I didn't say anything when we met him. I sort of felt that I should have said something because it's very obvious that what's going on, especially with the lines that we got with a different character. You may not be able to get as much information as we got when we talked to him. There was this one particular line that he said, I have a strike to break. He didn't say we have a strike to break or anything. He specifically said, I have a strike to break, which was very, very blatant. Again, I didn't say anything because well, I knew in advance. I knew who he was, so I just didn't want that to color my commentary. But to those of you who didn't know who he was and saw through it, yeah, that's one of the mercs. He's definitely a hired gun or a hired muzzle.
The other has a vantage point in a building south of the roundabout. They were keeping tabs on you while you were canvassing the lorry drivers.
One must be the goon in ill-fitting work clothes by the harbor gates, the scab leader.
That may be so. I still hope you heed my advice. There's no need to kick the hornet's nest.
She is poised and unperturbed.
For all your talk of averting this catastrophe, the situation at the gate is a powder keg. Does this not bother you?
Of course it bothers me, Lieutenant. But my hands are tied. How would my employer react if it appeared I were intervening on behalf of the Union?
Your concern may be appearances. Ours is keeping the peace.
One is probably in a building overlooking the roundabout.
That would afford a good vantage point.
She says.
In any case, it's practically inaccessible.
Where is your radio for contacting them, if I may ask? Do you have an earpiece?
Heavens no. I'm not an undercover agent. There's a short wave at the ship's wheel.
She nods towards the sloop's cabin. Okay, I had another question for you.
I hope I can answer it better.
How much time do we have?
Until the executions start? Truthfully, I don't know. It depends on their progress identifying the members of the lynch mob and their impatience.
They don't report their progress to you?
Not on this matter. I'm afraid they consider this a personal initiative.
There is a brief silence. Seagulls squawk over the bay.
It's a matter of days, not weeks.
Mm-hmm. That's enough for now.
I am sorry to have been the bearer of bad news. If there is anything else I can help you with, please ask.
Now, can you tell me about these tattoos? And I'm gonna show her the photo.
Of course. Excuse my hesitation before.
She reaches over the guard wire and takes the photo, holds it in her hand.
For about half a minute, in silence. She wears fingerless gloves. Her fingernails are cut short and fractured, like those of a working woman.
It was taken with a trigette not long ago. This is the man's upper body. There were no more markings on his hands or legs.
I'm gonna stay quiet and observe the woman's expression.
Her mouth is relaxed. The accordion lines near her mouth vanish. The pearls of her eyes move slowly on the photo's surface.
What do you think?
Sorry.
She breaks her concentration.
I was trying to see if I can read the web of interdependencies between these points. The stars.
She points to one on the photo paper.
I can't. But that's how you read this story. The points themselves don't have letters, numbers, anything. Their size, location on the body, and distance from each other tells you what they represent.
Like stars in the sky?
Close.
She nods.
Port cities. This is an Oronese map of the waterways, a sailor's tattoo worn by wayfarers of the Dolorian century, over 300 years ago. The sailors would mark their bodies to map their travels.
What is the use of this map?
The sailor's soul would use it to fly back home if they should die abroad. This is a sort of contraption to be reeled back in by. The silver cord, they would call it.
What travels did the dead men make?
Quite a few. Vredefort, the Oronese capital, traditionally stands on the right shoulder.
She points to it on the photo.
He started somewhere near here, I think.
What next?
Then he made his way to the Pretto Grande, through what I think must be the Stutz Canal, an artificial channel through the Occident. From the Pretto, he sailed to the Insulindic Ocean, first the Semines Islands, then this.
She points to his heart. What is that?
Revachol.
She says.
Those are the two constants. Vredefort on the shoulder, and Revachol in the heart. They started the tradition of these maps right after the discovery of Insulinde, at the dawn of the Interinsulary Age.
You said you can't read it.
I can't. This man was no sailor, and these are no ports. I can understand geographic fragments, but not their meaning.
Who could tell me more?
His platoon members? The other contractors, though I do not suggest you go and show them that picture. This man was their friend and comrade.
Challenge accepted. I say we do it.
Hell yeah, we do it. I need the information. I'm gonna mark it down. Ask Mercs about tattoos.
Do what you have to do, detective. I don't think deciphering that tattoo should come before public security. But if you should wade into the mob to find out, I couldn't stop you.
We will be careful, ma'am.
That's all for the tattoos. Thank you for your help. She hands you back the photo.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
No, thank you. That's all for now. It's getting really late, and we also have 3 levels. We have 3 level ups. That could mean that we could internalize one of these things. Guillaume de Millon is probably the one that I want the most. No, is it the finger pistols? Indirect modes of taxation. Yeah, none of these, I think, really stand out right now. We're not going to do that. 3 points is incredible, though. Kim, I will definitely be able to convince you of things now, but I will die as well.
Yes?
It's not looking good. I didn't get any extra from that, which is good. Yeah. It's also good that we have the chance to convince him again. However, oh, look at that, the map. We don't have this map, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's a bug. It shouldn't happen. We do have other things over here. Tommy L'Homme. Yeah, he's gone. And we have Gaston Martin. Why does it... These are possible to redo. There's a volition for Joyce. Is there? Because we finished her thought. Maybe it's buried in her dialogue. Oh, that probably is the case. Because the dialogue that we just had was also buried in a line that was gray. Hey. And that is the secret one. I'm going to ask him to step away for a while. Oh, that's the one. That's what that is. I don't want to do that.
Glad to have been of assistance.
Thank you, Joyce. Yeah. Anyway, let's continue looking at our map here. We don't have too many of them, and we certainly can't do the mirror, which is the one that I actually was most curious about. We can improve our electrochemistry, though, so we can try it again, and we will. I definitely want to get rid of this expression. Let's go in here. Hopefully it's going to be all right. being in here during the night. In fact, hopefully we'll find new people that I may not have necessarily found the first time around. Money. Hey. Hi, you're still cleaning.
Give me a moment.
The cleaning lady still seems to be having difficulty breathing. I have a few questions about those apartments.
Ask away, policeman.
I might be able to come back and ask her more once I go through the apartments. Do you know who lived in the foreclosed apartment?
The hell am I supposed to know?
The cleaning lady shrugs, her mouth puckered like a dried fig.
Another nut job, I assume.
She really doesn't like those nut jobs. Bad blood there.
What can you tell me about Cindy?
The artiste?
She scoffs.
Nothing I can do about her, I'm afraid. She ruins the walls faster than I can clean them. Still,
She leans on her broom.
she leaves an old lady to her business. More than I can say for others.
Well, that's all, thanks.
Oh,
She mumbles some kind of a response and then hacks something into her handkerchief. Thanks. I'm off. Let's see. Their mailbox is overflowing. Apartment number 8. I was bugged out is what that is. But it's fine. I don't see the things over there. Door number 9 is locked. Oh. Postcard Bougie Street 46. What's that all about? This crumpled up postcard depicts an open-air market in Bougie Street 5 years ago. A vendor smiles as dead roosters line his stalls, hung by their feet from canopy. From the canopy, I assume? Red blood flows onto the muddy street. Blurry shadows of people pass. It's a little bit of money. Don't go there. No, don't run either. Is that... Oh, $3.95. That is incredible amount of money right there. Let's see what we have over here.
You hear someone walking around inside, rearranging the furniture. The number on the panel says 10.
I'm gonna leave for now. One thing I will do is I'll bring my perception up. I don't know that we have too much... that we have too many checks for perception. But bringing it up early, because it's gonna be my most focused on skill, I think I'm not gonna regret it too much. Let's see if we got any new checks over here. No. All of them are intellect or volition. I just want to make sure I notice all these things, is what I'm saying. What is going on here? No. 42 gold. It's gold. It's definitely gold. So, yeah, perception increases the things that I see. And that is why I was rambling about that before when well, that goes to places. When I was saying that we shouldn't just hoard skill points. It's not necessarily the best thing to do. Not at all the best thing to do. We have a book called 16 Days of Coldest April. What is that all about? I can interact with it. The cover features a row of concrete buildings with a monochrome rainbow in the sky. It tells a rather excruciating story about two lovers during a period of ethnic unrest in Yugograd. The book has been filed under psychological realism. I wonder what it's a reference to. For all I know, it could be 1984 or something like that. Someone has torn the wall down. Oh, the window is broken as well. Waves crashing in the darkness. This is probably shivers.
A shift in temperature. The air chills around you. Dust settles on the stony floor.
I'm gonna rub my sides for warmth.
A former architect stands before a slice of window, a room plan in her hand. A cold wave has made the air in the building stand still and frozen, with temperatures falling down to -20 degrees Celsius.
-20. That shouldn't be there. That's a dash and a space and a 20. That should be over here. Her face
is red from the cold. She's breathing on her fingers, clasping the plan. Traces of sadness are visible in her expression.
The plan?
Faint pencil lines on paper depict the same place but a missing eastern wall connects the room with the neighboring apartment. Ideas for arranging the furniture have been jotted down.
I'm gonna look around myself.
It's clean and empty, with new tapestry embellishing the walls. A standard HB graphite pencil has fallen off a three-legged stool in the middle of the room.
I wonder if this line is supposed to be look around me, rather than look around myself. Or in here would be look around you, because it's yourself. Because if it is look around myself, then it implies that Shivers is doing looking around right now, which is actually the case. Shiver, I'm gonna just shiver and finish the thought. Yeah, Shiver is capable of sensing things that otherwise wouldn't be sensed. An old grocery list on the table, and checks. We have some Nosafed, a little bit of money, but not much else. In fact, nothing more. There's something there. I think? I do wonder if I should increase my... I'll let the numbers... I'll let the skill numbers be at 2. And that's good because it allows me to get a new thought and a new skill, if I need to. There was one occasion in the original playthrough where I had like 4 skill points, and I used them all in the same thing. I don't remember what it was. It probably was like pain threshold or something like that, because I kept failing the same check. And I don't feel bad about that, but I do think that it wasn't ideal. It's very much like putting all my eggs in one basket, and usually that basket is not good enough for all the eating that I need to do. Someone has drawn a 5-pointed star on the wall. Inverted 5-pointed star, in fact. The 5-pointed star is, in Europe anyway, used as a warding mechanism. But if it is inverted, then it is the opposite of warding, and that's where it comes from. This box is filled with cleaning chemicals, smells of laundry, detergents. Aha! Flip up glasses. The Auditor. For some logic. Better than our electrochemistry, then, that reduce our logic. Is this the opposite? Oh, it reduces our authority. My authority is at -3 right now. And I haven't even messed with the things that I do know remove my authority by a huge amount. There's an item that I have, don't worry about it. Eviction notices and missing pets are plastered on top of each other. Bunch of shoes here. An old shoe rack. Boots, sneakers, and old slippers. Apartment 12. A loud rumbling snore comes from within. The snoring is scary somehow. You should leave. Should I? Did I have the key for that? We got some magnesium. We got alcohol, Commodore Red, for minus morale, so it will kill me. I might have to pet the mailbox again. But extra +1 physics is incredible, so I kind of like that. Moss crawls on those bathroom tiles. Actual moss. These shower curtains are covered in some sort of slime. And 42 cents in here. There's just money all around. It is a little bit weird that there's so much money all over the place. I don't think that real life is like that. Unless my perception is really bad in real life. Because that would explain why I don't see that.
That isn't just a 5-pointed star. It's an inverted white pentagram cradled in a wreath of antlers. The iconography of communism, in other words.
That's what I was talking about. Look out, Kim. There are communists around here.
I'll keep my armistice handy, detective.
He doesn't actually reach for his gun.
I'm gonna inspect the symbol closer.
The star and antlers was developed in the 6th decade of the last century and quickly adopted by Mezov and the communards during the revolution. Even today, half a century after, the star and antlers retains the ability to evoke hope, disappointment, and fear in equal measure.
Why is the star upside down?
To symbolize the toppling of the old order. Also, some social democrats were already using it.
And what's the deal with the antlers?
The wreath of antlers represents a natural crown. It was about building a society that could exist in accord with the natural world, and at the same time above it.
Actually, also social democrats were already using it. This leaves thing. What do you mean they were already using it? You said that Mazov was that it was developed. So they weren't already using it. It was developed. Unless the implication here is that they were using the non-upside down one. And so it's not using it. It's using a similar one, but not it. I don't know. Why white?
Because white is the color of peace.
What does it evoke in me?
Smug superiority, aesthetic musings. The triumph of capital is undeniable. But maybe the guns were sort of cool. Revolutionaries had loads of guns.
Well, I guess we're gonna have to muse on those thoughts until the next episode, because for right now, I'm Colonel RPG, and this has been Disco Elysium. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and leave a comment, like the video, but above all, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next episode. Bye-bye.